Hey, have you ever wanted to be a photographer, but it's just way too expensive, because it's an expensive ass camera, and that's even if you don't consider the studio lighting and backdrops and all that kind of stuff that you also need. But in the very least, you need a good camera and a couple good lenses, and then that will allow you to at least use the sun outside and maybe a couple. Anyway, it's expensive, right? You're talking at least $1,000 just to get started to get photos like this. But what if you don't need all that equipment? What if instead you can use Midjourney 5? So Midjourney 5 is absolutely amazing. It's easy to get started. I'm not going to be teaching you how to do that here. There's tons of videos already on YouTube that you can check out how to get started using Midjourney. It's really simple. You just go to things, sign up, and then also I recommend looking up how to set up your own private server on Discord, because you have to use it through Discord, and then you can have your own private server like I have here. You have to pay to do that though. But if you do the free version, you get like 50 different generations, and that will last you probably at least a couple hours of having fun. And then if you like it, then you can start paying for it, and you could do the $10 a month, which I don't recommend because you're probably going to want to do the $30 a month, which gives you free relax mode. But anyway, once you get all that downloaded and ready to rock and roll, let's start making some awesome, beautiful images. Look at this kind of stuff you can do. I mean, this is stuff that you can't possibly do because these things don't exist. So you can even take pictures of stuff that just doesn't exist. Look at those, look like photos. I mean, that's absolutely amazing. So the first thing you do is type settings. So you hit backslash, hit settings like that, hit enter, enter again. This will bring up the settings. You want to make sure you're on, click here, because it might be defaulted to here. So click that so you're on Midjourney 5. Everything else is probably fine. You can also try this one out. I recommend starting with base quality, the default, but if you do find something and it's getting to where you want it and you're starting to like it, then you can run it at high quality, but it costs 2 times the cost. So if you use this, you'll burn through your stuff twice as fast. But honestly, if you're using your $30 a month plan, then you can do this sometimes. It's not a big deal. And then you can also use relax mode when you pay, and that allows you to go just mess around and just goof off it. And you can actually go to the Midjourney room here and like go to characters, for example. There's a prompt up here, and you can like start interacting with people and see what they're doing, get ideas of what they're doing, and then you can post your own stuff. It's just kind of fun just to hang out. Whenever I do that, I just use relax mode. But it's really actually highly addictive. Okay, once you have all that set, you might want to mess with the styles as well. If you want it to stick more to your prompt, medium is the default, but you could try high or even very high, and it will kind of go off your prompt more. It'll kind of go away from the prompt more and kind of try to stylize it. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I like to do, so I have my notepad here to show you some different ideas which we're going to be generating. But one of the things I like to use is right here, award-winning photography, cinematic, dynamic light contrast. If you just use this at the end of whatever you want to describe, it's going to be really good. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to copy this right here. Boom, like that. So I'm going to show you some of the different things I did. Notice I put that even right here for the thumbnail. That way I can have the thumbnail for the video. I should probably actually generate it as a wide shot. Didn't even think about that, but I want to just show it for this first part of the video. So let's go up here a little bit of ways. These were okay. I actually used high stylization on these. And this was like dude jumping over a volcano. So like anything you can imagine, you can get pictures of. And if you want to do more art style, you can like put painting and things like that. So look at this here. I have the same thing at the end, but this was a little different. It says Urban Alley, sharp focus. You don't have to do sharp focus, but sometimes it helps if you're trying to go for a certain style. Award-winning photography, high contrast, dynamic light, cinematography. I should have put cinematic. That's much easier to say anyway. And then if you do S750, that's like the higher one. So you don't actually have to go into the settings. You can just put this at the end, and that will temporarily change it for that one prompt that you're doing. V5, it's automatically done. It's automatically on V5 right now, so we don't have to worry about that. It's just showing you that it's there. So there's a lot of different things you can do with this. Let's go ahead and look at this up close here, though. So here's our alleyway. Absolutely amazing, stunning photos. And these aren't even upscaled or even at 2 times resolution, right? So I think by default, it gives you about 1,000 pixels high or wide, depending on what kind of aspect ratio you're doing, which is pretty fine for posting online and stuff. Like it's pretty, and then you can upscale these But if you do the 2x, then you can upscale them 2x and get something better, higher resolution, the background and stuff. You can also just take these and then take the 1000 and you can upscale that. But anyway, fantastic for online posting. Anyway, you can post this on Instagram and build a following with your fake photography. But it's amazing because you can get something that looks like actual photography, right? This is amazing. Now, what's cool about this is you can, kind of like a photographer, you can, through your prompting, you can kind of change how you want this to be. You can, for example, what if I like this, but I had this other idea? I'm like, you know what? It would have been better had I been crouched down on my knees, right? Like I want a low shot or something. That would have been cooler maybe for this shot. And so you can do that, right? You can come in here, type /, and then at the top should be image prompt. Just hit enter, or you can start typing image. I'm going to paste that in here, but at the front here, I'm going to put low angle shot. Right now, that's going to give me a whole different kind of feel. And you can also change like wide angle lens. You can say fisheye lens. You can change the lighting style. You can say, studio lighting. You can say low light, dim light. I use this high contrast light, but you can say things like backlit, rim lighting. There's all these different things you can do that's going to influence the kind of photo you're trying to get. You can say, close-up shot, far away shot, wide angle shot. You can also change right now I'm just doing square, but I can change that by putting --AR. Like here I put --AR, and then you do the aspect ratio, space, and then 2, and then make sure to do a :3. So this right here, if I did, let's say 16:9, then I would have basically a movie, basically a wide angle, or a wider shot that looks more like a movie still. But notice this one is more, it's not a landscape shot, this is a portrait shot. So bam, that's how I get that. So let's look at these from the low angle shot. So by putting low angle shot, I get a pretty different feel of the photos here. And you can say it's not a tight alleyway or whatever. What if we wanted something different? Maybe we didn't want an urban one. I have one here set up for this very purpose. What if we wanted right here? So I'm going to make it a lot shorter. I'm just going to use my typical one that I use. The one I just told you. We'll copy and paste that. So this is a medieval alley, award-winning photography, cinematic, dynamic light contrast. So that's this thing right here I told you. We're going to use these, and we're going to use this at the end of all of our prompts, and you just describe what you want after that. So this is the one I did for the futuristic city, which is futuristic city domes, stairways, floating sections, people, daily lives. So we can go up here and see what that one did, which was here. Look at it larger and look at that. Amazing. These are really stunning. Look at these two. That's just really cool looking. This just looks crazy. Like, doesn't even look like you can ride that thing. That's cool. That's actually cool. Like one that would kind of curve around things, an escalator like that. So yeah, really cool. And once you have something you kind of like, but you're not so happy with it, you can go and kind of change some things. Like maybe you don't want the domes, just futuristic city. So for example, I can grab all of this. I'm also going to show you how to combine things in just a second. And so I can paste this, and let's say I'm like, you know what? I don't like the domes. So let's just do futuristic city and see what happens there. And look at here. So now we got a medieval alleyway. And that's pretty cool. But what if you didn't want this kind of like, see how it's kind of just straight? It's like a single point perspective. Well, you can try saying 2-point perspective, or you can maybe say a winding alleyway, for example. And that might give us different. But look, these look like photos. I mean, this is amazing. You can do different time frames. Like you can do things that would be so expensive if you had to do it with an actual camera, because you'd have to go on location, and you'd have to buy a bunch of costumes if you wanted a time frame. Like if you wanted to look like medieval times, that's going to be quite expensive to get that photo. But here, you can do it for free, or $30 a month, and make all kinds of cool photos. And by the way, you can use all these commercially. So you can use these in commercials. You can put, like I said, you can post these on anything you want, on DeviantArt. start developing a fan base on DeviantArt for cool photos. You can do it on Instagram, all kinds of stuff. What's really cool, check this out what you can do. This is amazing. You can actually do product photography. So if you needed a product photography, you can definitely achieve that here. And like food photography. So food photography is pretty popular on Instagram and other places, but check this out. You can't even tell, like, that looks like photos, right? That looks like real life. Looks like someone used a really fancy camera. I like this one a lot. This is amazing. I mean, look at that. You even got the blur going back. You can actually say things like bokeh. So if you want that nice bokeh look, you can get that. Like say, city of a girl in a city, or a photo of a girl in a city, bokeh, something like that, and that's going to give you that really cool bokeh in the background. But this is amazing. I mean, you can just straight use that in a advertisement, no problem. No one would know it wasn't even a photo. You could put this on Instagram, and no one would even know that you use AI to create this. Honestly, they just wouldn't. And then look at this one. This is amazing. So, bam! Look at that. Look at this burger right here. Oh man, that's so good. So I kind of used a cheat for this one. What I did is I went to ChatGPT 5 and I kind of explained, what I wanted, how prompting works for Midjourney. And then I said, I want a burger that's an award-winning product photography, cheese melting, sauce dripping, and just make it awesome and give me a prompt for that. And it gave me this prompt here. So if you want to take the time to read this, you can, and that's what it gave me. So you can use ChatGPT 5 for that and to help you make your prompts even better. It might give, look, it gave me this idea. I wasn't even thinking about this, like the glistening juices or this right here. Show off the perfectly cooked patty. I don't know, it kind of had a little bit of cooked bun. I didn't even think about that, but you maybe even say like cooked bun or show the cooked bun. Yeah, so absolutely amazing. No one would ever know that that wasn't a photo. I'm telling you, like, it's amazing. All right, so it's good for that. It's also good for like if you want to do bottles, like a whiskey bottle, things like that. You can get really fantastic stuff. All right, so let's look at what it did here now. This futuristic city. So here we turned off. Yeah, so we turned off. Oh, wow, look at that. That's amazing. Now it does kind of start looking artistic sometimes when you go too much away from reality. Well, sometimes when you do some sci-fi stuff and some fantasy stuff, sometimes it will kind of start to look like art a little bit, not so much photorealism. This one looks photoreal though. And then look at that. That is crazy. That's like a crazy design or something. So really cool. And with more prompting, more descriptions, you can start changing this more and more. And then like I said, you can if you're doing photography of people, we'll get into that in a second. You can do some things like you would as a photographer. You can decide that you want to get closer up on it. You just say close-up shot, or close-up portrait, or you want to look through bushes or something, or you want to have it be a wider angle, or you want her to be doing things. So you want her to be in a certain pose. You can describe the pose you want. You can describe the kind of attitude you want her to have, the kind of facial expressions. Maybe she's mad and she's yelling, or maybe she's crying, or maybe she's being subtle or whatever, being playful, etc. But let's look at some more things here real quick I did with this prompt here. So I'm going to show you how you can add two things together too. Let's go ahead and do that now. Actually, I wanted to, while I talk about that, I wanted to do this one other thing. Let's grab this medieval, but let's type here maybe curving alley, curving winding alley, something like that. Let's see what happens. I just want to get something that's not straight. Could also say maybe intersecting alley or something. Let's try this. Oops. You have to hit, didn't hit enter fast enough. So this, enter, there we go. You can also start to type imagine, or just type the full thing and hit enter, but it's faster to do it that way. So while that renders, let's go up here and I'm going to show you something here. So here I did mad scientist, sci-fi, steampunk room full of gadgets and science. I just put and science, so it knows I want it to be sciencey. And then my typical thing here, award-winning photography, cinematic, dynamic light contrast. This right here is a really good string to have at the end if you want just really good photos for pretty much anything. Let's look at this larger. Amazing. Look at that. That's fantastic. And these are starting to look a little bit artistic. Not quite like a photograph, but really cool. And then I did another one because I wanted the guy. So I said a man with crazy hair and posture. And I got this, but it's more close up. So it's not quite what I wanted. I could have said full body shot or something like that. But what we can do is mix these two together. So that's kind of cool. So let's pick one of these that we want. So let's say I really liked this one here. Then that's 1, 2, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is upscaling, right? So I'm going to upscale that one. And let's say I just really like this guy. So that's number 2, upscale number 2. Right, so I'm going to upscale those two, and I'm going to show you what you can do once you upscale them. And then we'll look at some other things we can do as well. Let's see if it's finished this one yet. Well, I don't know, it didn't really understand the curvy a little bit. It's kind of understood the curvy, windy stuff a little bit here. Pretty cool stuff, actually. I mean, this is really neat. I mean, this is cool. Like, we got a photo. It looks like we're in medieval times, and we got a photo of it. And that's just amazing. Like, it'd be really hard to get photos like these. So, like I said, you can use these in all your kinds of projects and stuff. One other thing I want to do while we do this really fast is I wanted to do. I guess we can do a cyberpunk thing. Let's try that. So, what if we wanted a picture of a cyberpunk city? So let's try it. Let's go cyberpunk city, cyberpunk city life people, and then I'm going to do my typical thing, award-winning, blah, blah, and we'll do --AR. This is for aspect ratio. So now let's say we want to turn our camera sideways. Let's go 16:9, and then let's mix these two together. So once we have our images, you click on it to open it up, then you right click on it, and I'm going to choose right here, copy image address. So let's copy that address, go to our prompt, / enter, paste that, hit space, grab this one here, right click, copy image address, and honestly we're just mixing these two photos, so there's no reason to even type anything. Hit it and it's going to blend those two photos together for us. So we'll let it do that while we wait for this one as well. And while we wait for that, I wanted to do one other thing. So let's say we wanted a woman, right, that is being playful or something, right? So we want a cool photo of a woman in the city with bokeh. So I'll say Instagram model. Most of the time it's going to be female, but you can put female just in case, but it's probably going to default to that. So Instagram model female in, let's say, Chinatown night bokeh. I think that's how you spell it. And then I'll do my typical award-winning, oops, no, I forgot. Have the link instead, so I'll go back and copy this. I just want to type it every single time, so it saves time. Recommend doing that if you have a certain thing you like to use, just put it in your notepad while you're working. And we'll let it generate that while we look at these. So here's the cyberpunk ones. And like I said, once you start going away from things that actually exist, start going to sci-fi and fantasy, you might get things that don't look as photographic, but this one does. I mean, this looks like this can be a real thing. I don't know, I can't really tell what he's sitting on. It almost looks like he's sitting on nothing. I mean, you can kind of see it there, but it just looks kind of odd. The composition of this isn't very good, so you could have like told it a different composition or something. You can probably crop it right here and then try to redo it. Based on that, you can take that link and then anyway, you can upload. You can take this in Photoshop or Photopea for free online, crop it to here, upload it, and then right-click on the image like we just did, and use the link to motivate it to look like that. So, almost looks more, not quite photorealistic here. This one looks kind of like a little bit like art as well, but really not. I mean, these are fantastic things. You can use this for all kinds of stuff. This one almost looks like a photo, so that's kind of cool. So like I said, when you get more toward the sci-fi stuff, sometimes it gets away from it. Let's look at this one's done. We'll look at that in a second. I want to look at how it combined these together. So this is fantastic. So here we have our, look at this. We got our same guy. So he's putting the same, looks just like the same dude. And as long as you're using that image, it'll always look like that dude. So it's a way to get consistency. Just use that same image, and then you can use different background images, and you can basically put him in different backgrounds, right? So you can generate different backgrounds, and you can put him in different backgrounds, which is kind of cool. That's neat. And these almost look like an artistic photo, you know? That's really cool. I actually like that a lot. That's actually worth posting somewhere. That's pretty cool. And like I said, you can take that once you have that cool character like this guy here, and look how different he is in all these different poses. Like he even shows him from side views and stuff. But you can then grab a different background and throw him in that background, and it's going to work. So it's kind of cool. Like, what if let's just out of curiosity, let's go ahead and no, not that. What if he was in the future? What if he's in one of these alleyways? Would that be cool? Let me think. I want to put him somewhere else. Maybe one of these futuristic things. Okay, let's generate this one maybe. Just see how, I'm just curious. Like, let's just upscale that and let's see what happens if we throw him in that, just out of curiosity. So let's look at our women photos here. And I think I'm getting to that point of the video where people stop watching, for less those people that like long format. But look at that, look at the bokeh. That is beautiful. And you can also tell it the exact kind of camera you're using, and if there's enough references to it, sometimes it'll actually generate bokeh that's close to how that camera captures. And because I just said Instagram model female, it's giving me, you know, just different. Right now I got some like Asian, but if you don't want Asian, you can say blonde, or you can say, you know, just describe the kind of character you want, and it's going to go toward that character. I'm actually surprised it showed this much skin with the V5, so that's kind of interesting. I don't know what happened to her nose right there, but nonetheless, these are beautiful. So look at that. Got some beautiful Chinatown photos, and because I didn't have to say close up, but I could have. Now, if you say close up shot, you're not going to have as much of the body showing here. If you want more body showing, you can say, you know, full body or something like that. Or if you want closer, you can say close up shot, and then you can also put different aspect ratios to kind of push that. So if I wanted, you know, more of her body, I could probably put into a longer aspect ratio, like a 2:3. So let's take this one now. Click it, right click it, copy image address. We're going to throw this in here. So let's pop that address, hit space, and let's go grab this guy again. Here we go. Click him, right click, copy address, come back down here, Control V to paste, hit enter. Let's see what that looks like. So that's going to be an interesting one, mixing those two photos together. While we're waiting for that real quick, I want to just show what I'm talking about here. So let's go ahead and grab this. And let's say we kind of like it, but we wanted something different, right? If you just want a white girl, you can say white girl. If you want African, you can say African, etc. So let's say we wanted a ginger. So we can just put ginger in front of this. So type ginger, and then let's say we wanted a close-up. Let's put that in the front. Close-up shot. And what was the other thing I was thinking? Oh yeah, the aspect ratio. So let's do aspect ratio, make it long. So it's going to be a close-up shot, but if we make it longer, so AR dash dash AR space, and I'm going to do like a 1:3, really long shot. You can do really crazy stuff with this, by the way. Like you can go like 1:16 or something nuts. Let's just go 1:4. I think this will be interesting. We'll turn our camera to where it's like we're going the long way with it. See what happens with that. And it looks like he's done. And look at this. So we get that same character, but look at this. Now he's in this whole new context. Now he's in this futuristic context. So we took this like more of a steampunk kind of scientist guy, and we threw him in this totally new, you know, futuristic looking thing. Look at that. That's amazing. Like I did a really good job. And I don't know what he's sitting on, probably the stairs. Look, his hands are really weird on that one. Right, so you can really mix cool photos together. So you can also do this by just grabbing photos online. So you don't have to use photos that are on here. You can also go and grab photos online of things. So, you know, grab a photo of some beautiful woman you want or something, and then you can put her in different backgrounds and grab a background and do the same thing. And all you do to do that is just copy the image address. So I guess we can try that really fast. We'll go to Google and let's type beautiful woman photography, something like that, and then images, and then just grab whatever you want, doesn't matter. Let's just say just a proof of concept. Let's go with this one. And that's huge. I don't know. Let's go with this one. Right click on it and then copy image address. And we'll go back over here and we're going to prompt this. And I'm going to do that. We'll look at the other one while we do this one. And let's say what kind of background we want. Maybe we'll just do like the jungle or something, right? Jungle photography. Say we like the atmosphere of this. Right click, copy image address, come back over here and paste it and see how it blends those together. I think you have to have remix on for that to work, by the way, so you just go to settings and turn that on. Let's look at our really long photos here. Kind of interesting. So look at this. So we got this really cool one, this one here. Let's go big. Look at that. That's interesting. So for some reason, it's still going Asian. I don't know why it's going Asian looking with the eyes for our Instagram model. So I guess you can say, I thought ginger would have been enough, but you can say Caucasian or white girl or something. Like that one looks white, but then we have like a ginger Asian. That's interesting, actually, ginger Asian. Look at that bokeh, beautiful. So these are really cool. Really cool. I like this one a lot. That one's really cool. I like just the look. Now, let's say you want to kind of change how they are too. Like, so let's grab all of this, but I'm going to do a different aspect ratio. We'll do like 2:3 or something. And then we'll go like this and prompt this, paste this, change this to 2:3 like that. And then let's go. So I don't have that female there no more. Oh, I know why. It's because of Chinatown. So sometimes, so you can do a negative prompt. You can, because we're in Chinatown, you can then over here, you can do a negative prompt. I'll show you what that looks like. You do dash, no, and then space, and then whatever you don't want. So let's say we don't want Asian. And that way it shouldn't give us an Asian person anymore. And I probably don't have to have the white woman here anymore. Just a proof of concept. I can probably just say Instagram model now, female. And I can also put Chinatown like this. I think this works where it kind of helps understand that this is a concept by itself. Might have to put it in quotation marks on this one. I know it works well for stable diffusion. All right, let's try that. And then what else? Close-up shot. Oh, yeah, sorry. It's changed her personality a little bit. So let's go with right here. Let's say she's playful. Right? You can say seductive, whatever. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if Midjourney even allows that word. They're really strict, and that's why stable diffusion is better in many ways. But let's see what I did with this. So, not so good. So sometimes some photos don't blend together so well, and so none of these are very good. But you can now use this as a base, right? So let's say you like that one. So what you can do is you can upscale this one, 1, 2, 3. You can upscale that one, and we can use that as a base. So you can now get the same prompting that we like. Let's say a good prompt, like let's say, click on this, right click it, copy image address. That's going to be part of our prompt now. So we're going to go like this. We're going to paste it in there, and then we're going to say model play fully posing in the jungle, and then we're going to add our little thing right here that we've been adding to everything so far. And bam, watch what happens with that. Okay, this one's finished. Fantastic. And usually, like, this is when it gets addicting. Like you're doing several things at once like this. Like while you're waiting for things to happen, you're working on other prompts and stuff, and then you're trying to refine your prompt to get exactly what you want, and that's where it gets really addictive. Like you can really just get sucked into this big time. This is weird looking. Something about the eyes don't look right in that one. This is really cool. I really like this kind of subtle kind of blurriness. It's really fantastic. So you can tell things like that. You can say highly detailed skin, things like that if you want it to be more like that, by the way. So like sharp focus, high detail on skin. I don't know what happened here. Like it's putting bokeh in front of her. That's just weird. But these are great. You have the bokeh in the background, and you have this fantastic look here. So that one's really nice. And look at that. Like you can use this. Who would not know that wasn't a photo, especially if you make it bigger. Like if I were to upscale that by like the 2 times whatever. Oh, here we go. These look like they might have came out good. So you see that using those two photos online kind of drove me in the right direction. Now I have this kind of model that has that certain look. And by using that as part of my prompt, I'm getting these kind of cool things. These ones are looking young for some reason. You can try to force that away by saying woman and maybe use an age like 30 or something or 25. But yeah, these are really cool. Then if it's still not quite where you want it to be, you can then take one of these images and then do the same thing again. That way it keeps pushing it more toward what you're trying to go for. Hey, if you're still here and you want to see what I do with Stable Diffusion, especially if you want to see some of my more risque, not safe for work images, go to my DeviantArt account. The link's in the description of this video too, but it's DeviantArt and then just Master Painting Now, and then just com, not .com. And if I really like that style, what I can do is I can go number 2 right here, right? So I went to settings and I turned on high quality. And you can see right here, it's --Q2. So if I don't want to turn that on, I now know the thing for it. So it's --Q and then space 2. And so I can go here, I can make a variation of number 2. And then right here, I can tell it --Q2. So now it's going to give me a higher resolution version of that. So when I upscale it, it'll be high res. So here's the regular res of this one. Right? So pretty nice. I mean, that looks like a photo. That's the upscaled version. Like, you probably don't need anything higher than that, especially if you're just going to be posting online. But that's amazing. Like, that looks like, I can't tell that's not a photo. That's just fantastic. So bam, I'm a photographer now. I just took a photo of a redhead. All right, for some reason doing the variation in Q2 didn't work out so well. So what we can do instead is we can grab this right here. Say I wanted a higher version of this. I can grab this. I can go copy image address. And then let's paste that into our prompt. Put space. We're going to grab this whole thing right here, but with the Q2 right there. If not, you can just grab the original one and you can add the Q2 to it. So we're going to make a whole new one from scratch. And now it's going to take our prompt, but it's going to add our prompt here. And Q2 means that we're going to get a higher resolution version out of it. And I think that means when you upscale it, it'll upscale to a higher resolution. And so we'll see what that looks like, just to see if I can get something very similar to this, but a higher resolution. All right, so here's the woman, and you can see the playful kind of came through in some of these more, like especially that one. Now I'm going to try to upscale that because I'm actually curious now if that's going to be much bigger than just 1000 pixels high. So I'm upscaling that, and then I'm also doing these here. I wanted to get your opinion on. So what I did is I did one with my typical ending, the award-winning photography, this ending right here. Okay, let's try it. There we go. With this ending right here. And then this one just has this same beginning only. So whiskey bottle, and you can see that not a whole lot of difference here for this one, only because I think I already put some really cool stuff here. Let's open this up, and I'm curious, which one of these would you use for your ad? You needed a cool whiskey bottle for your ad. Which one of these would you use? I kind of like this one with the blue light in the background. That's really cool. And you can say things like that, like blue light in the background, whatever, or blue backlight or something like that. That one's pretty cool. And then you can also, do some cool Photoshop tricks, and you can actually get the label and put your label on it. And let's look at these ones here. Which one would you go with out of these? Actually, these do look better with that prompt I have at the end. Now that I'm looking at them, they do look better. But that would be kind of cool to say. I can take this one, upscale it, say blue or backlight, a blue backlight, and then it'd look very much like this, but it would have the blue backlight, oh my god, the blue backlight. I like this one. So which one do you guys like? You can also try to describe the kind of bottle it is and stuff. So it's really cool. Product photography, fantastic. You can get some really good views on that. Let's see how big she is, because I don't know, the upscaled version doesn't seem like it's bigger than the other one. It's the same size. So I don't get how What was the point of putting Q2? I'm not really sure how that is then. Because look at it, has the Q2 there. Let me see. Is it just this that's bigger? And that's pretty much already the size I needed it without upscaling. I can just grab that. Maybe that's what it does? I don't know. I don't get how, what's the point of that? Seems pointless. Okay, so very cool stuff. So that's how you can kind of be a photographer and get great photos without actually having expensive equipment. In fact, you can get photos of just about anything you can imagine, and it's getting so good that they're virtually undetectable. You know, like that just looks like an actual photo of a real person. I cannot tell that this is AI generated, so fantastic. I'll see you next time. Hey, what do you guys want to see? Do you want more of this kind of stuff? Do you want to know more about Midjourney 5 or different kind of things you can do with it? Because there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with Midjourney 5 if you just don't want to get into the more artistic thing that we do with my other stuff, where it's using Stable Diffusion and actually creating way more complicated pieces of art where you have to actually do some painting and stuff. But if you like this whole Midjourney thing, Midjourney is really fun. Sometimes I get stuck on here for hours just generating stuff. And one of the cool things I like to do is I just click on relax mode. I go over here. This is one of my favorite things is characters. I like to see what other characters people are making, and I just scroll down, look at what they're doing. Then I get involved, and I just put my stuff in there, and sometimes people comment on it. Yeah, it's just kind of fun. That's cool. Look at these guys. This is cool. And you can also come in here to get ideas, and you can grab something like this. You can come in here like this, and you can, grab one of their dudes. It looks more like a painting though, but say you want more of a photograph, you can grab that dude. You can upscale him. You can grab him, and then or you can just grab this whole thing as inspiration, for what you want, or just grab that guy, for example, and then use that as part of your image prompt. So that, and then say a real photo of an old man, whatever, right? And you can look at their prompt here, man from the Wild West, old bitter doctor, 19th century, detailed face, oil painting. So change this to award-winning photography, and then maybe put cinematic lighting or something like that, and then take that guy, put it at the front, and you'll get something like that. Let's just do that really fast. Watch this. You can go up to Q3. That's interesting. Let me see. Hold on. I don't know if that really, I guess it adds more resolution to the same size. Maybe that's what it does. But I really like that guy, so I'm going to go ahead and upscale him. Sometimes people get mad when you do that. So we could do maybe, let me try it this way. I'm just going to try, because that's the general idea. No, I don't care. I'm doing it. Let's upscale him. Up here at the top, it should tell you what you have to do. Oh, usually there's a prompt, it'll tell, anyway, if you try to do something and try to actually prompt something, it'll tell you then, if it's not already there. I need to go all the way down because this thing's going to flow really fast. And at some point it's going to, oh, here we go, jump to present. Okay, there you go. See, you saw that orange? So I can go back up here. Oh man, how far back is my orange thing now? I did see it for a second, I thought. Huh. Your thing will be, there it is. Okay, it already went down here. So it's done, cool. So now I can pop him open, go to my browser, right click, copy image address, and then I'll go back to my thing over here. I'm going to prompt this really fast. Pop the link, hit space. I'm going to go back to here. I'm just going to grab that prompt. I just need this part. And I guess if I want a lot more detail, I can try doing the Q3 or Q2, but oh, duh. Go back to this. Paste that in there as well. And then I'm going to put in award-winning photography. and cinematic lighting. And I think I might do AR23, want a little bit more of a portrait shot. So now it's going to use this as a base. Even though this is a photograph, it's pretty realistic. And so it shouldn't add too much of the style. It should just look like an actual photo, hopefully. And if it doesn't, then you can take that one as inspiration and go from there, or just start from scratch. Let's actually try that too. Let's just do this. Exact same prompt, but let's try it without the photo. So now it's just the text prompt. And then we'll end on this. And while that's doing that, I'm going to go back over here to that room so I can show you what I'm talking about. So you come here, jump to the present, and I'm just going to try typing oh wow, it's actually letting me do it. Okay, so usually there's a prompt. So yeah, usually when you come into these, like there's usually, I guess it's usually up here, so I guess that's why it's not there. But usually there's some word you have to use. Like they'll say, you have to use one of these words or two of these words or something, and it might be like sci-fi or just whatever the words happen to be. In this case, it looks like there's no words you have to use. So that's odd. Usually there is. Let me see. What about daily theme? Yeah, so right here, I think you have to use that maybe. And let's see, what about abstract? Is there anything? Environments. Huh, that's where they must have made it to where you don't really have to. Maybe they changed it. Let me see something. Progress, no. Those are just showcases. It's multi-prompt, so I think they give you several things you have to use in your prompt. But anyway, it's just kind of cool to see what people come up with, so you can try it out. Look, I just typed female, and that's what I got. What? Fish. All right. But it's cool to get ideas from people just to see what kind of things they're using in their prompt and stuff. And then you can try, typing your stuff and then get ideas from you, whatever. That's really cool. I actually really like that. All right, let's go back here because they finished. So this is the one with the image. So you see the link here. It made the link shorter. So now you can actually copy that if you want to use links again. Now you have a shorter version of the link. But let's see how photo real they look. Pretty photo real. That's cool. Really neat. Let's look at this one here. See if these look more photo real though, because those other ones, they look pretty photo real, but they almost had a slight artistic look. That is cool. What is going on here? Yeah, this one's fantastic. And I think what it is when you add that Q, it adds more density, I think, to it. So it doesn't make it bigger, but it adds more like resolution to it. So that way when you do upscale it, you'll have more resolution. But I mean, this is fantastic just as it is without even upscaling or anything, just to post it online. Like, that's a really cool one. I like that a lot. I might actually turn him into art because that is really neat. So I'm going to go like that. All right, cool. So thanks for watching. If you've watched this far and you're still watching, do me a favor. Like, it takes you a second. It really helps out. Just hit the thumbs up button or leave a comment or something also if you want. That'd be awesome.